a lot of all the first books I had um, for really walking with God for maybe the first 10 years, they were of
Ah.
all Catholic people, all Catholic saints, Saint Bernadette, of course, Mother Teresa, Francis Fenelon, so many. And I mean, like, I might have 3 to 5 books on each one of those people. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
never talking about Catholic people, only the religious system, but I'm
Gotcha.
starting with them. And every other religious system I'm talking about too. We do believe in pure
Mm-hmm.
religion. The Bible talks about pure religion and undefiled, and he tells us what that is, but
Mm-hmm.
not just religion, not just the system of it, not just the government of it, not just the church um, building or edifice. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was that. And then we're going to look at tonight how James, which is the first book that's written in the New Testament, not Matthew, not Mark, not Luke. James is the earliest. James the just, or James the righteous, he's called. He was called that not by himself, but he was called that by other people. James is the brother of Jesus, the brother of the Lord. History tells us that, and the Apostle Paul, in his writings, he tells us who James is. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so understanding better how these are written, like I said, will help us. James is an epistle, it's not a gospel. Okay, epistle means letter. So the book of James, which is a letter, it's an epistle, is written and it tells us who it's written to. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
there's there's something you can put the first one up now, Sister Angelique. Yeah, we're gonna need to put
Yes,
those
ma'am.
up. Okay. You will notice I said Matthew, Mark, and Luke, not John. These are called the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Synoptic means they're similar and they talk about the whole life of Jesus. Okay? Similar. Those are the Synoptic Gospels. John, not like these at all. So it's not one of the Synoptic Gospels. Okay? And we're going to look at just a tinge of how these are similar, and then we're going to come back to James. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whew. Let me catch my breath. Okay. So in the book of James, we're going to have to show you what is called the Q material or the Q source or Q document. I'm not going to show you the document, but where did the writings of each one of these people come from? We believe that we can show you where the writings of Matthew come from, where the writings of Mark come from. Well, not so much, but where the writings of Matthew and the writings of Luke come from. And then after Mark and after James, you pretty much know where all the other writings come from. And believe it or not, everybody except James and probably Mark too are under the influence of Paul's writings. Because remember, Paul's writings are out after James. Everything is Paul, 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 his writings, what he's saying to the churches. And then it comes back around to 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Revelation. The Gospel of John wasn't written until then, after all these other things. And it also, we have 1st and 2nd Peter. A lot of scholars say you might as well call Peter by this time. Peter is one of the last ones to be written. You might as well call him the 1st and 2nd book of Paul, because believe it or not, Peter starts quoting a lot of what Paul is saying. Not Paul quoting Peter, but Peter is quoting Paul. So they have kind of stepped back and allowed the Apostle Paul in his writings to dominate, to I don't know how that happened, but we'll be delving more and more into that. You'll just see the influence of the books, how the church world became what it is. Why did we come away from what Jesus was originally teaching us, and what he was trying to tell us through James, the just, the brother of the Lord, what made the church come so far away from that? Because we have.